a superior framework to pangenetic naturalist philosophy. Pangenetic naturalist philosophy emphasizes that all living organisms and their traits can be explained purely through genetic processes and natural mechanisms. It aligns closely with Darwinian evolutionary theory, proposing that natural selection and genetic variation are sufficient to explain the complexity and diversity of life. However, proponents of intelligent design, ID, argue that this approach is incomplete and fails to account for the intricate systems and information-rich structures observed in biology. Instead, ID offers a more robust explanation for the origin and development of life by proposing that certain features of the universe and living organisms are best explained by an intelligent cause rather than undirected processes like natural selection. 1. Genetic information and complexity. Pangenetic naturalism views life as the result of random mutations and natural selection acting on genetic material over time. However, ID theorists point to the complexity and specificity of genetic information as evidence of design. Genetic sequences resemble software codes, with highly organized and functional information that cannot plausibly arise from chance alone. Dr. Stephen Meyer, a leading advocate of ID, explains in Signature in the Cell, the central problem facing evolutionary biology is the origin of the information necessary to build novel biological forms. When we examine the digital code embedded in DNA, the most rational explanation is an intelligent source, a mind. No undirected chemical processes explain the origin of the complex specified information, CSI, we observe in biological systems. 2. The limits of natural selection. While natural selection and genetic drift are often touted as mechanisms that drive evolution, ID proponents argue that they only explain variations within species, microevolution, but fail to explain the origin of new complex structures, macroevolution. Michael Behe, in his book Darwin's Black Box, highlights irreducibly complex systems that require all their parts to function and could not have evolved through gradual, step-by-step processes. Behe writes, an irreducibly complex system, a single system composed of several well-matched interacting parts, will not function if a part is missing. Such systems defy explanation by Darwinian gradualism. Evolution by natural selection can explain small changes, but it cannot explain the sudden emergence of complex biological machinery, such as the bacterial flagellum. This underscores the idea that pangenetic naturalism lacks the explanatory power to account for the origin of complex biological systems, whereas ID posits that such systems are better explained as the result of purposeful design. 3. Fine-tuning in biology. Intelligent design also emphasizes the concept of fine-tuning, not only in cosmology, but also in biology. The precise coordination required for life to exist, such as the specific arrangement of amino acids to form functional proteins, points toward intentional design. Pangenetic naturalism, on the other hand, reduces these remarkable biological events to random processes, which ID theorists argue is insufficient. William Dembski, in The Design Inference, argues that, when you encounter information that is both complex and specified, like the intricate sequence of nucleotide bases in DNA, you are dealing with something that natural causes do not adequately explain. Instead, such information reliably points to an intelligent source. Dembski's argument underscores that when we see a system as complex and finely tuned as genetic information, the best explanation is an intelligent designer rather than a blind, random process. 4. Human consciousness and rationality. Pangenetic naturalist philosophy attempts to explain human cognition, emotions, and social behavior through genetics and evolutionary processes. However, ID contends that while genetics plays a role, human consciousness and rationality cannot be fully explained by material processes alone. The emergence of abstract reasoning, moral values, and artistic creativity reflects capacities that go beyond what can be explained by genetic evolution or natural selection. As John Lennox, a prominent ID advocate, states, "Our ability to reason and engage in moral judgment suggests we are more than the sum of our physical parts. Such abilities are rooted in something immaterial, something that points beyond mere genetics and naturalistic evolution to a purposeful designer." 5. Conclusion. Intelligent design provides a superior explanation. While pangenetic naturalism offers a framework based on genetics and evolution, it falls short in explaining the origin of complex biological information, the fine-tuning of life, and the nature of human consciousness. Intelligent design, on the other hand, provides a more coherent and evidence-based explanation. It acknowledges the role of genetics, but attributes the underlying complexity and order in life to an intelligent cause, rather than random processes. By recognizing the limitations of Darwinian evolution and emphasizing the evidence for design, ID offers a more compelling account of life's origins and diversity. As Dr. Meyer notes, when faced with the intricate and purposeful patterns in biology, the inference to design becomes not only reasonable, but also the best explanation for the data we observe.